Seconds, please. Good evening and welcome to the May 10th, 2022 Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed Board of Managers meeting. Our first order of business, would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is the public comment period. And is there anybody here in the chambers that wishes to speak at the public comment period? Seeing none, we're going to move on to the next item on the agenda, and that is to approve it. And I'm going to ask my colleagues, Bruce, I think you have one amendment right now on the agenda already.
Yeah, I would like to add in new business 4.3, approval of a new CAC member, add Curtis Witt to that.
To Ron Hoffmeyer.
To Ron Hoffmeyer.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Joni, nothing. So I would then entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries 5-0. Thanks, everybody. So we're first after our programs and projects update. And I'm seeing some head shaking going on over there.
If you can move on to something else, I think it's going to take a
We're going to come back to that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go on to the, since we've got our Abdo friend in here, we've got 4.2, the acceptance of the 2021 annual audit. Andy, if you could please just state your name for the record, please. You know how this goes. Nice to see you again, Andy.
Good evening, Andy Berg with Abdo. I'm here to present the 2021 audit, and I'm not sure if the technical difficulties involve getting this presentation up too.
It does include that, yeah. Do you have your phone on you?
I'm going to tell you what, why don't we actually, Andy, I'll put that on pause too. I think we're going to be able to do the CA members, because I don't think there is going to be anything that would have been put on the screen is going to be my guess. Bruce, you want to introduce this one for us,
I'd like
please?
to take the honors for that. We had recently 2 applicants, and that we have, with our new procedure, interviewing between the CAC chair and Allison, our staff member, and myself as the liaison to the CAC. We were able to interview Ron Hoffmeyer, who is in the audience tonight, and Curtis Witt. Ron brings a load of experience, a lot of enthusiasm, and I think he's going to hit the ground running, so to speak. So he brings a lot of abilities to our CAC. So I'd highly recommend that we approve of him. And Curtis Witt, he also has tremendous skills and leadership and abilities from his work schedules that he's done over the years managing, and he has a high desire to help in the CAC. So I would strongly recommend both Ron Hoffmeyer and Curtis Witt to the CAC.
Awesome. Thanks, Bruce. Do you actually want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve Ron Hoffmeyer and Curtis Witt to the CAC.
Second.
We have a motion and second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries 5-0. Thanks, everybody. Welcome, Ron. Curtis, wherever you are, if you're watching, welcome. We appreciate the opportunity to have you help us move the district forward, so thank you. You ready, ladies?
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to go back to 4.1 on our programs and projects update. Go ahead, Jamie.
We'll actually start with Shauna here. Good afternoon. So we'll just jump right into the lake levels. They're all slowly on the rise. So we've got Prior Lake rising to 900.6 feet. Spring Lake is back to its normal, quote-unquote normal level at 911.26 feet. And Pike Lake is also pretty steady at its normal rate, 820.76 feet. Carp espionage and carp activity have been kind of a hit lately. If you're just a reminder, the carp espionage program is just a way for the community to let us know at the watershed district via an online form where they're seeing carp. And so far we've had 6 different submissions so far this season. They're mostly pointing us to Mud Bay. So we have had stream removals, just one of those, and then today we also went electrofishing, so that would be 3 electrofishing events. And we've got 368 carp total, about 2,800 pounds of carp, and then plus whatever we got today, which the numbers are still kind of coming in. We also did not have any open water seines. We just had a lack of aggregation for carp this season. They were pretty scattered all across the lake. And Jeff has submitted the permits for bluegills in Geis Wetland and the Desilt Pond. We're just waiting for approval on those permits and getting a final date. We should have that by the next board meeting.
Before you move on from that, if I may, Shauna, because we often don't recognize the successes, and we sometimes talk about the things that haven't gone right. And one of the things that I know that we've started on the carp thing is to go after like electrofishing, the stuff that we've been adding to do while these seem smaller. The fact that when we do seines, maybe we get 15, 20,000 pounds, but they happen very, infrequent, years gaps. So 2,800 pounds at a pop, I think that's awesome that we get that many, because you do even 10 of those, you got 28,000 pounds. So this is a big deal. It doesn't sound like a lot because it's, one thing, but I think it's awesome. So I'm going to try and remember to focus on the positives, right? Joni, you and I both sort of said we have this problem, and I know it's mine. I saw that and I thought it's great. So nice job, everybody.
I have a question.
Kurt?
In that picture, is that Tony Havernack on the left from WSB?
It is.
Huh?
It is.
We had more WSB and people involved in carp catching again, huh? All right.
Thanks for letting me pause, Shauna. Go ahead.
Next, just getting into monitoring AIS. We have the eyelids concrete footing that was installed yesterday. So that means that we can have it fully installed just by the end of this week for fishing opener. We will also have boat inspections beginning at the end of this week as well.
So last month, I gave a pretty detailed update on the project. So I'm just going to quickly touch on the updates since last month, which is just the green text. So we do have a draft proposal, a draft request for proposals written for the ferric chloride treatment system analysis. So that should be ready to head out for the consultants to take a look at and start analyzing that system. The channel repair projects along the outlet channel, those are going to be going out to bid next week. So we're staying on track with that, and construction will continue to be this summer and fall to complete that. And then also the televising the outlet pipe, we have the contract signed and they'll be ready to televise anytime now. That's all we have for that.
Thank you. Anybody? Bruce?
Yeah, one question. On the sediment 5 removal, is that something FEMA related, or is there no FEMA funds on that? Is that something we're doing on our own?
Both of these projects in the outlet channel were not funded by FEMA, but likely the sediment was probably caused a lot from the flood, but it's
Right.
not
So
funded.
we didn't get funds for cleaning that sediment. Okay.
Seeing nobody else, then we will move on to then the audit. So Andy, you are back up, sir.
Andy, there's a clicker on the desk there that should be able to advance the slides.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Again, Andy Berg with Abdo, here to present the 2021 audit. I'll go through a short presentation and be happy to take any questions that you have. So I'll cover our audit opinion and reports that we issue. Then we'll look at the district's finances, look at the organization as a whole, and then focus on some of your funds, starting with your general fund and implementation fund. And from there, we'll take any questions. So the end result of our audit is that we issue an opinion on your financial statements. We issued a unmodified opinion or clean opinion, so the best opinion you can get. As part of that, we also gain an understanding of the district's internal controls to plan our audit, not to issue opinion on the effectiveness. But if we did run across something, there could be internal control findings we report. No audit findings to report this year. We also issue a report on Minnesota legal compliance, so test about 7 different areas of compliance. Clean report there. So as this next slide shows, no findings through the audit. It went well. So now we'll jump into some of the financial information. On this slide, we're looking at your statement of net position, or basically your balance sheet that contains all your funds on a full accrual basis. Total assets of about $3.5 million, with the bulk of that in your cash and temporary investments, about $2.3 million. You do have total liabilities of about $665,000, with about $231,000 of that, which is a net pension liability, part of the multi-employer cost-sharing plan through the state. So really not a liability that you'd ever pay. Really, you're just contributing the required contributions throughout the year. So total net position, you have about 1.2 in capital assets, 372,000 restricted, mainly for the JPA, MOA, and then unrestricted of about 1.3 million. So now breaking that down a little bit, we'll start with your general fund. On this slide, we give you a 5-year history of the ending general fund balance, which is indicated by the orange line. Compare that to the next year's budget. So you can see that the percent's about 111% of your 2022 budget. That percent did drop from last year at the end of 2020 at about 205%, partially due to the decrease in fund balance and then also the increase in the budget, which is indicated by the yellow line. So if we look at the activity in the general fund, we can see where that decrease happened. So you had revenues of about $172,000, which was above budget by $5,800, so relatively close. Total expenses of about $240,000, over budget by about $73,000. So with the revenues coming under expenditures of about $67,000, that was a reduction in fund balance, ending at the $274,000 we were looking at the previous slide. Next is your implementation fund. So your main fund where the bulk of your projects run through. Here giving you a budget to actual too. So total revenues came in at about 1.9 million, real close to what was budgeted. The bulk of that being property tax revenue. Total expenses at about 1.2 million, under budget about 785,000, really mainly due to timing of some of the projects. So total revenues over expenditures by about 650,000. You did transfer about 27,000 out of the fund, so total fund balance increased 622,000, ending at just 1.3 million. You do have 2 other funds, your JPA and MOA funds. Here we give you a comparison of any balance from year to year, with a total of about 372,000, which was a decrease of about 91,000. You had about 277,000 of expenses between these 2 funds during the year. So that is a quick summary of the audit results and a summary of the financial information. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Andy. Anybody? Any questions for Andy? Seeing none. There's no questions, Andy.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to just have one comment. I think actually maybe this will be a question, Andy, because I think in the past we've had some findings where, of course, because we're a small organization, we don't have, what am I thinking, sort of some of the controls in place. And if I kind of recall, but that wasn't noted here in this audit. Did something change on that front?
So I think that that's probably been a number of years, and it really comes down to the contracted accountant that you use, and that bringing that in as part of the controls, and then some of the monitoring that you have with the district administrator internally. So I think that's been quite a few years that finding's been out. Most recently, there's been some minor legal compliance findings.
Okay,
My recollection.
That's what I kind of remember, that we sort of cleaned some up on a few of those things. So this is great. Good stuff, Joni. You get credit for it. You would have taken responsibility if it didn't. So nicely job. But no, I know, you do care about this stuff to make sure it's in good order. So, I mean, this is an important one. So clean bill of health. And so good work, Joni, and for the rest of the staff. So nice job.
Thank you, President Meiser. So we do ask for a motion or action by the board
Yes.
here. So we are asking that the managers accept the 2021 Management Communications and the 2021 Annual Financial Report and authorize staff to submit to Bowser and the State Auditor's Office.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second on the floor. All those in favor say aye. 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 That motion carries. Frank, you're a yay. Thank you. And I now need to find, as I was moving stuff, I covered. Next item up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
President Meiser and managers. So we're looking at the 2021 annual report. So the state statute requires that the Prior Lake, Spring Lake Watershed District prepares and submits an annual report to Bowser in the DNR. Statute and rules also define what the report needs to cover. And for the most part, we really need to kind of touch on, what is the district structure, what are the goals and priorities that are outlined in our water resource management plan, to provide a summary of our 2021 activities as it relates to capital projects, operations and maintenance, planning activities, monitoring research, regulation, education and outreach, and our work with the Prior Lake Outlet Channel. We also need to provide some information about our financial condition, and then also show what progress we've made on our the PRAP, and then finally provide some preview of what we're planning to address in 2022. The back of the report then also does provide some of our water quality graphs in terms of where we're showing or how we're doing in terms of water quality, primarily on our Tier 1 lakes. So with that, I'm not going to go into a whole lot more detail on the report. If there are any questions about the report, I'd be happy to answer it. Otherwise, staff recommends approval of the 2021 annual report and then to receive authorization to release it to Bowser in the DNR.
Thanks, Joni. Christian, go ahead and go first, sir.
Yes, so the excellent report, and what's probably the most remarkable is the improvement in water quality that is seen at Lower Prior Lake, Spring Lake, and so congratulations, because these are real results, and it matters a lot to people that live on the lakes, and humans and animals, birds. So thank you, and our task is to keep it up.
Thanks, Christian. I was going to. Go ahead, Bruce, you go first.
I was just going to say, I read this report twice, and it's very good. I really like it. It's very readable, and it's very organized. So I have no other comments and to say it's good.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm just going to note a couple of things. I thought it was great in both reading this. It was easy to read, but it's some key stuff that was accomplished last year. The Sutton Lake outlet structure, big deal, right? Big project, big deal to get some improved water quality and some storage potential in there. The carp stuff, we've talked about the challenge of that. We still got 24,000 pounds of carp out. That might be a big saying, but again, we know how difficult that is. But it's a lot of these other little things that mattered. 24,000 pounds of carp, and we reduced the population. I saw bluegills was not mentioned in here in the report. We missed that, but we did start increasing the stocking of bluegills to go after the nurseries and the barriers to keep the carp. So I mean, that's a big deal, and we'll see some, I think, fruits of that longer term. And then kind of like Christian did here, I was back looking on this water quality stuff, and it's, it's outstanding. The two key lakes that we've had trouble with in Spring and Upper Pryor. We're trying to protect Lower Pryor, which is the big deal there, but Spring and Upper Pryor in positions they've never been in the history before, especially on the water quality one. You can see on Upper Pryor and on the negative stuff, that stuff down on the chlorophyll and the total phosphorus stuff is down very low. So this is awesome. We're making great progress, and a lot of the stuff isn't even just the big alum treatment. It's all the little things that we've been doing. A lot of BMPs, some of those little things, you chip away at it, it's having an impact, and so I think it's a big deal. So it's great progress. I love to see this. It was fun to read. So good work, everybody. So from the board to staff and our consultants, nice job. Frank?
It must have taken a fair amount of time to put this report together, given the comprehensiveness of it. It goes to two bodies, basically, for review, discussion. What did we get awards? How is it used? It just seems like such a shame to put all that work together and have such an excellent report and really have not too many uses for it. That's what I fear.
Manager Boyles, right. Honestly, I don't really know what happens once it is submitted to Bowser and DNR. But we do post it on our website, and maybe we should put it up on our banner and bring it a little bit closer to the front of the website so people are aware of it and have the opportunity to review it, because it does highlight exactly a lot of the good work that the district is doing.
Perhaps share it with the PLA and SLA, their membership.
We certainly could do that.
Awesome. Seeing nothing else, we'll move on to the next item. Item 4.5.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Kurt.
When are we going to get our next report on the population of carp in Spring and Pryor? Is there going to be a count?
It was in here.
No, I mean going forward.
Oh, okay.
Is that done in the fall, or when is that done?
Manager Hennis, I'm not exactly sure when that would happen. I can check in with Jeff to find out when he's planning to do a population estimate and get back to you on that.
All right.
Okay.
Do we have a
Do you have
vote?
Yeah, we need to make a motion to approve
yeah.
the 2021 annual report and authorize its release to Bowser and the DNR.
So you're not saying we need to, you were making the motion then, is that what?
A motion to approve.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I thought we said we needed.
That's
Okay,
what
do
I
we have a
said,
second? My
memo here.
apologies.
Second.
Christian's a second on that. We have motion, a second on the,
Yeah.
Bruce, second was Christian. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries 5. Thanks, everybody. All right, now we're on to 4.5. I was just so eager to get to this. Resolution 22-355, amending the budget to remove the alum internal loading reserve. Joni, go ahead and take it away.
President Meiser and managers. So we have two related resolutions that relate to a budget amendment that we're asking the board's consideration on. Resolution 22-355 really relates to the fact that in December of 2021, the Board of Managers made a decision to commit $230,000 to our alum internal reserve fund. When the 2022 budget was created, I put that $230,000 in the 2022 budget under a column titled Budget Reserve. In retrospect, those funds were not intended to be used in 2022 and really did not have an appropriate place in the 22 budget. So this resolution is asking to transfer out the 2021 committed funds out of the 2022 budget. Resolution 22-356 is helping to try to provide additional clarity as it once again relates to the alum reserve fund. So in the 2022 budget, under the alum reserve fund line item, there is $250,000 in that budget line item which is really comprised of two items. One is, once again, the $230,000 that we want to continue to build up the Alum Reserve Fund about, but it also includes $20,000 to be used to do some testing of the sediment in Upper Prior Lake that will help us determine when is the appropriate time to do the alum fund treatment. So it was, in talking to our accountant, it was decided that it might provide additional clarity if we created a new line item called 611 Upper Prior Lake Phase 2 Sediment Monitoring, and then transfer $20,000 into that budget line item so that we clearly understand that that $20,000 is to perform the sediment monitoring. That then leaves $230,000 in the alum reserve line item, which we will then ask the Board of Managers to commit in December of 2022, then raising our total reserve fund for the alum reserve up to $460,000.
Thanks, Joni. Any questions for Joni on this? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve one or both of these items.
Second. Oh, I put a motion in to approve both items.
Maybe read those just a little bit.
So it's a resolution 22355 budget to remove the alum internal fund, and the 22356 to split up the fund from to the 230 to the alum fund, and the 20,000 to the testing fund.
The sediment monitoring. Perfect.
Yep.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye. Aye. That motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Christian. All right, 4.6, resolution for the revised rules.
President Miser and managers. In 2017, Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed District initiated a process to update the district's rules that had not been substantively revised since 2003. Over the course of the update process, the district hosted 5 technical advisory committee meetings, 3 road authority meetings, 5 board manager workshops, a public hearing, and we also provided a 45-day review period. Subsequent to the 45-day review period, we held a local government unit workshop, and then based on some draft rules that we had created in November 2021, we once again solicited some courtesy review comments from our local government agency partners. Based on the November 24th, 2021 rules and the courtesy comments that we received, the district engineer, Carl O'Meara, and myself met with representatives from Scott County, Scott WMO, and the city of Prior Lake, and had additional discussions to further understand the courtesy review comments that they provided to us on the most recent draft of the rules. Based on those conversations, we put through another round of suggested revisions to the rules, which are in the packet today. And we feel that we have responded to the comments that we have received, and at this point, staff is recommending the managers vote to approve Resolution 22-357, adopting the revised rules for the Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed District.
Thanks, Joni. Frank?
It's a terrific example of tenaciousness and effort, given that it occurred over numerous years, number one, and number two, the collaboration between the watershed and what do we call them? Partners? No.
Yeah.
Collaborators, that's it. I'd like to move it, if you don't mind.
Well, the only thing is to make sure that Carl doesn't want to continue this work. Okay, I just figured that was the one question I had, to make sure that you were really done, because I think you're the only one in this room that's been around since day one, Carl. I mean, Kurt, have you been not quite day one, but pretty darn
pretty darn
close to
close.
see this through? So,
Yep.
yeah, this is a long time in the making, to say the least. I know everyone's going to be happy about it, so go for it. Frank,
Yes,
you want to make a motion, or Bruce, did you have a comment?
well, I was going to say, there's a time to weep and a time to laugh. There's a time to pass the rules.
You're not going to sing.
No, I'm not. I'm just quoting a little biblical wisdom. But I would make a motion to approve Resolution 22-357, adopting revised rules for the Prior Lake Spring Lake watershed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Nicely done, everybody involved. So that's a good one to put to bed. Thank you. Okay, our next item on the agenda then is the Service Awards, 4.7. Joni, you're up for the first one.
President Miser and managers. So this is Jamie Rockney's last week with Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed District. And Jamie has been a tremendous ambassador for the Watershed District over the years that she's been with us. We truly appreciate what Jamie has shared, that she has shared her passion and her expertise in water and natural resources with us for the last 9 years with the Watershed District. We want to thank her for all of her contributions to the Watershed District, and we wish her truly the best in all her future endeavors.
Anybody? Because I'm going to. Anybody? So, Jamie, seriously, I don't know that I've met anybody on staff that has as much care, commitment to the environment and conservation of the resource, bar none. You were there. You were a wealth of knowledge throughout on both the PLOC and all the other stuff, and I didn't always know it, but sometimes all of a sudden Jamie comes in and we start learning some more stuff, so you've been amazing at that. And I know I really ended up liking those PLOC. I think the annual reports that you ended up doing, I thought you did a marvelous job on that. So you're going to be leaving with a lot of institutional knowledge. We're going to miss that. We'll miss your happy, smiling face and demeanor here as well, but wish you the best in all your next adventure in life. So very good, and thanks for all your service, Jamie. Anybody? Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, Jamie, we started pretty much the same time. You started a few months more than I did, and I know you put some time in soil and water too, but you've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of changes, and you hung in there despite the changes. And I really respect you for that, because I think a lesser person might have bailed. So thank you for your time, thank you for your friendship, and the very best in the future for you.
Bruce?
Yeah, I've only been able to work with Jamie the last couple of years, but seen her on and off when I was in Shakopee. But she's always had a smile, just a smile on whatever she was doing. So I don't know if you're happy or just whatever, but you always had a smile on your face, and I appreciate that. And everything you did, you really did well. So thank you for your time here. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Christian.
Yes, Jamie, I want to thank you too. And keep up the good work. Keep caring about nature. And, well, I guess I'm getting too emotional here, but you have done a wonderful job, and I just wish the very best for you. Thank you.
Thanks again, Jamie. All right, we're going to move on to 4.8. Bruce?
Okay, this is an acknowledgement of Jim Winiger's service to the Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed District. Jim has been involved with the district probably since it's been created over 50 years ago. He's been very active in managing or looking out for the lake and Spring Lake particularly, and he's been a long-standing member of our district Citizens Advisory Committee, twice serving as a CAC chair, and most recently serving as a vice chair. Jim's term expired last month. We want to take this time to formally thank Jim for his years of service to the Prior Lake Spring Lake Watershed District. So,
Thanks, Jim. Okay, we're going to move on to 4.9, and I got some abuse even putting this on, and he repeatedly told me to take this off don't do it. I don't want to hear about it. And
I'm not a big one for eulogies.
No, he's not.
Or,
And it's not a eulogy.
or long speeches.
No, yeah, you're not dead either. And so I told him, I said, I can't have somebody that I worked with for 9 years go away. Also, so I said, no, I'm not going to accept that, Kurt. But I said, I will keep it simple and sweet. And this is as much as I told you as I want to tell the community the stuff that you have done for us. And I just picked a few things so this wouldn't go on, because he said, I want to be a good soldier, go quietly in the night. And I said, but the community needs to know what you did do for us for some of the stuff. And I sort of highlighted 3 things, although before I get into those 3 things, what we are going to lose also is sort of like we lost with Jamie. We're going to lose some serious historical knowledge. Kurt is our man in the upper watershed. If you want to know what's going on, who owns what piece of land, what water goes from one to the other, Kurt's the one. And we're going to lose that with you, Kurt, and we're going to miss it, because a lot of the work that we want to do is in the upper watershed, and you brought that. So allow us to tap into you. I know you're committed to this place, so please give us the opportunity to do that. But then there's 3 things that at least stood out to me that are big deals for Kurt. And I know, number 1, what we've accomplished on Spring and Upper Pryor, and this even goes back before my 4 years and change here. Some of the alum treatments that you were fighting for to go get done, both back from 2014, some of the first treatments, but supporting actually ensuring that Upper Pryor got done in the last one. Those would not have happened without your support and your vote. I know the projects that you've always been, Kurt's been adamant, the money gets spent on projects, not consultants, not other stuff. We get stuff done to make a difference in the district. And that's what I think Spring and Upper Pryor, with the water quality we have, is evidence of Kurt fighting for that. The second thing that sticks out to me for Kurt is fiscal management. I know that's a surprise to anybody here in the room or anybody listening at home, but here's a couple of things that I will focus on. For the last 4 years, we've only had a 3% increase in the levy. He's also been supportive during board retreats to look at what can we stop doing so we can have some more resources to spend on other things, either staff time or money. So Kurt, nobody without a doubt on fiscal management, you were there. Always, never forgot. I could even, so far as I told Kurt this, and I'm coming out in public to admit that I didn't always read where the expenses were going on some of the meetings that we'd have, because I knew Kurt was on it. I told him that. I said, Kurt, it's one of the things you relieve me from having to look to see where the money's going on every one of these checks, because I said, you're on it, and I trust you. So you freed me up from that, but again, your fiscal responsibility, there's nobody better than Kurt, and we're going to miss you for that. And then final, I think, is the other one, is again back on the upper watershed stuff. Because we developed this plan that he was again aware of, we have put forth the next 5 to 7 year plan for the district on the most important stuff to stop polluting our lakes, and primarily coming into spring and then upper and protecting lower. And Kurt, I mean, a lot of that, it wouldn't have happened. Your vote was critical. You fought for this stuff all the time for us to put that plan in place to protect our district going forward. And that stuff isn't done. It won't even be done in maybe many of our times here on the board. But you know, everything you did there was deeply appreciated on those kind of 3 things. So again, Kurt, I thank you without a doubt. It's hard to see anybody having more passion, more dedication to the words I wrote that I think about you in helping protect and improve our lakes. So from that, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you've done for the district and our water resources for the community, sir. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yep, go for it.
I'm gonna make a few brief comments. A lot of those votes that Mike brought out were 3-2 votes. I know one of the former managers out here, the first alum treatment only got passed because Woody, myself, and another person who was not on the board long after that voted 3-2 to do it. It was a very tight vote, very nip and tuck right up to the end. Some of these other votes were also 3-2 votes. The new administrator was a 3-2 vote, and it's not fun being the swing vote, but you got to belly up and make a commitment and go forward. I really don't have a lot of regrets, although in the early part we had some tough times. I took over as manager, and I won't go on too long here. As manager, the very next month, Administrator Kinney resigned with a week and a half notice. It was a tough situation, and we tried to muddle our way through it with EOR helping to monitor the projects until we got Diane Lynch to come on, and it wasn't. Those were tough times. They're much better now. Yes, we have done tremendous work on water quality. I mean, compared to other agencies, I think we are pretty efficient. I don't think we spend a lot of excess money. I don't think we go over the budget. As Mike said, the budget's basically the levy has basically been static for 4 years, and I'd like to know how many other agencies can say that. I doubt if there's any. I want to thank all these people. People are no longer here again. Marianne Breitbach, Bruce Thorson, Fred Corrigan, Charlie Howley. Best part of this job is the friends, it's the people you meet. The water quality is up there too, but it's the people you meet, the friends you meet, the great memories you can always take with you. That's the bottom line. That's the real bottom line. I'd like to thank you guys. Look forward to seeing you once in a while. If you need any help or anything, let me know, and I'll always be there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. No, it was just fine. Well stated. Thanks, Kurt. Okay, we're moving on to the consent agenda, but Bruce, do you want to? So typically we pass these on match. You want to pull that one off because you ended up having a question.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it from what you asked me.
Pull off the workshop meeting minutes on Tuesday,
April 12th, that's 5.2. And so then anything else? Anyone pulling anything off the consent agenda? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries 5-0. Okay, go ahead, Bruce.
Well, I was reading the minutes, and like we're supposed to do, and I noticed that Manager Miser would like to go after the fish no matter what the cost. And I don't think he said quite that, so I asked him, is that what you meant?
No. I did not state that, would not state that, and actually, no, I'm going to admit, once again, I did not read the meeting minutes. I typically do not, so I'm falling on my sword, but no, I did not state that. So we can strike that.
Would you like to strike that statement?
We don't need to replace it with anything, that's fine,
Okay,
but we can strike that.
with that, then I would approve.
Entertain a motion to approve item
The meeting
5.2.
workshop minutes of April 12th, 2022, board workshop minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Thanks all. Okay, we're on to the treasurer's report. Christian, sir, you are up.
Thank you. So I and Joni looked through the general fund. It looks good. The implementation fund, it looks good. We didn't find any concerning things at this point in time. There will be more expenses coming up over the summer. Our current available cash at the end of April is $887,000, which is about 38% of the budget. However, next month here we anticipate to get approximately $980,000, which will then bring our available cash flow up again. And we have our cash flow charts that illustrates that. So overall, I would say the status is good. We are still working on our 4M bank account and establishing that and transferring funds to that. Working with US Bank and a new way to sign checks electronically.
Great. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Anybody, any questions for Christian? Seeing none, we're going to move on to the upcoming meeting and event schedule. Bruce, you want to take the first one since that's yours?
Okay, the next CAC meeting is Thursday, May 26th at 6:30 to 8 p.m. for the regular meeting, but I think it's 6 o'clock for the subcommittee meeting. So for the members, that's important for them to be there at 6.
Second meeting is the Board of Managers meeting Tuesday, January 14th, 2022, 6 p.m. here in the City Council chambers. We then have a PLOC Cooperators meeting Thursday, June 16th from 12 to 1:30 in Prior Lake City Hall in Wagon Bridge. Kurt, you want to do the last one for us?
Joint Board of Managers and CAC meeting Thursday, June 30th, 2022, from 6 to 8 in Prior Lake City Hall. That's one of the first ones we've had for a while. It's very important. It's going to be a real plus to get the Board of Managers and the CAC committee together to go over a lot of important items.
Awesome. So that's it. So Kurt, I'm going to give you the honors, sir, for the last.
For the last time, make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries 5-0. Thank you and good night, everybody.